Good morning, my dear students. Myself, Dr. Lata Sharma, is with you here with the platform of BPSC 133 IGNU. As usually, we are going to giving you many lectures related to your knowledge and related to your subject. I feel that all of you are getting very important information and syllabus related to this that we have to give you many lectures. So my dear students, now we are again here and we are with you with a new topic that is changing nature of Indian state and administration. This is a new topic that is related to BPSC 133. Here we will discuss about all of the facts and everything about the state and administration. What is the changes? What is the nature of state? What is the philosophy? And philosophers has given the main ideologies related to the state. This is the full and everything you have to be. You will be comfortable in covering all of the facts that is related to this topic. So here myself, Dr. Lata Sharma. Now we are starting with a new topic that is changing nature of Indian state and administration. This is that Indian state. We discuss about the Indian state and administration. So, what is the main functioning of Indian state, and what are the main functioning of administration in including the Indian state, and what is the main factors behind that there is a changing nature of Indian state? What is the factors and what is the reasons that we have to see that all of type of Indian state has been changed themselves in their nature and their workings and in their qualities. So, giving on this main point, we are going to start with what is state. Here is what is state. We have to be knowledge about state. When we think about that, what is the state? We have to be clear. We have to be comfort. We have to be confirm about that. What is a state? A state is a political association with effective sovereignty over a geographical area and representing population. Here, we are going to say here, this means that state is a political association. Simple is there. State is a political association with effective sovereignty. That is, without sovereignty, without political association, state we cannot assume the state. That is the third thing is there that over a geographical area there is a confirm a borderline of geographical area and representing a particular population, geographical area, effective sovereignty, and political association. So these are the things that the state has to be defined as a political a state has political association, effective sovereignty, geographical area, and population. There is the all things should be covered in state. State usually includes the set of institutions that claim authority to make rules to govern people of the society in that territory. Article 12 of Indian Constitution, state includes. We are saying about that Article 12 in Indian Constitution. The state has been covered in the Article 12. That in that system, the state includes Government of India, Parliament, and other government institutions, state government, state legislature, other government institution, local government, and local agencies. These are to be covered in Article 12 in Indian Constitution. That is state. And there is a state set of institution is there, and they have a authority to make rules to govern people of the society. So the Indian Constitution has given the Article 12. In that they have given that state includes all of these institutions. Which make rules to govern the territory, political association, sovereignty, geographical area, territory, population, set of institutions, authority to make rules and govern people, central, state, and local government institutions. Understanding nature of state, the ideal goals, policies, structure, roles and uh, roles and many bodies of a government and society. So these are the thing that the state has. The state has all of these institutions, and according to Article 12 Indian Constitution, the state has a very important work to make rules to govern people on the society in the territorial area. There is the factors that influence the nature of the state and administration. These are constitutional goals, structure, and performance of structure. That the factors which influence gives the influence the nature of a state. That is, one thing is constitutional goals. Constitutional goals give the influence upon the nature of the state, and the constitutional goals and their structure and performance of structure. The second is internal environment, that is social, economic, political, cultural, and historical factors, that is technology also, and administrative structures or agencies. So these are the things that influence the nature of the state. Third is the external environment, social, economic, political, cultural factors, and technology, and IGO. Interaction among these institutions define the nature of state. As we have seen that all of these things, that is constitutional goals, these factors influence the nature of the state. The internal environment also affect the nature of the state. The external environment also affect the nature of the state. This is this is constitutional goals, this is internal environment, and external environment, social, economic, and political, cultural factors. These are the things that affect the nature of the state. So we are here we have covered here what is state and what the factors, the nature of the state and administration that influence the nature of the state. So these are we have given here. Now we are talking about, we'll discuss about the evolution of the society, that how we'll say that the society has come into the birth, there is the origin of the society, the evolution of the society, and what is the main factors, what is the main role of society, that it has to be there, and the society has got the evolution. So this is all of the questions, answer is there. Evolution of society in a state, methods to understand society and state. Here, that evolution of society and state, methods to understand society and state. That is main thing, that first of all, that state has come into the form and society has come into the form by which all of these evolutions factors, that is Vedas, written documents, learning from the life of experience of forefathers, and observing existing society. Unlike other societies, India has tremendous continuous past. That is Kosambi layman understanding of society and state. That is evolution of society we have discussed here, that how we have came to know that the state and society has come into the evolution by the Vedas, by the written documents, by the learnings of the life of the philosophers, our forefathers, and that is more great personalities that has observed the existing society also. And all of these, that India has tremendous, this is the main important thing here is to be understood, that India has tremendous historical past, continuous past, that is we have covered, we have discussed all of the continuous past in making the society and in making the state. We are discussing here that primitive society, where we have to think that there was no state. Primitive society is there, that these are the things that have the role in the evolution of society. Formation of social institutions. First of all, there is family. Family had the formation of social institutions. This is the main thing here. Animal rearing society. This is the also to be covered here, that the primitive society, when there is no consideration of the state, and second is formation of social institutions, that is family. Family performed the role of the state. Simple is there. And formation of social institution, family has a very good role in the formation of and in the performance of the state. Animal rearing society, agricultural practices, surplus production. Here is that state is not simply a populated dense area. No, there is a person who has to be work as an agricultural practice, surplus production. They have to work according to fulfill their lifestyle, fulfill their needs. So there is a agricultural practice to be covered here. Class formation, economic inequalities, social inequalities. There is the thing that the state and society has to be covered. That class formation has take the place there. That economic inequalities has come into the knowledge. Social inequalities has come into the knowledge. There is caste, gender, and religion. This is the main thing that our society has taken the formation, and our society has taken the evolution. By all of these, this is economic inequalities has come after that. That is primitive society and formation of social institutions, animal rearing society, agricultural practices. So there is surplus production to be needed here. And again, there is a new thing has come into the formation of this class formation. This is what they have bring out. They have bring out the economic inequalities, social inequalities. There is the main important thing that our societies also observing that in an existing society, that is caste, gender, and religion also. Next is there existence of state to protect the property and life of the people. Kautilya Arthashastra 320 BC to 296 BC mention about the existence of the state. There is Kautilya Arthashastra has given this 320 BC to 296 BC. He has discussed about the existence of the state, that what is the role of the state should be there, that to protect the property and life of the people. Feudal society, there is concentration of land dominance of certain privileged social groups over the large masses. There is feudal society. There is a very important fundamental issue can be here, that the concentration of land dominance. There is a land dominance of certain privileged social groups over the large masses. Capitalist society, there is a competition, free trade, and economy. There is a capitalist society also has come to the form, that is also capitalist society and socialist society. There is welfare of the marginalized sections. What they want, that socialist society, welfare of the marginalized section. What they do, they want the welfare of the marginalized sections. Next is there communism or state-less society. What they are saying, communism or state-less society. Owning of property by community, whether away of state. Communism or stateless society. There is that they also want, communism wants that the whether away of state, there should be there owning of the property by community, whether away of the state. Thus, property relations or distribution of resources among the social groups, regions, etc., determine the nature of the state. Here is that what the communist society wants, the stateless society has they discussed, and they want that owning of the property by community whether of the state. They think that there will be a imaginariness of the whether away of the state. Now we are here with the philosophers' view of the state. What the philosophers said about the state, what their ideology and what they are thinking about the state. This is the here that state is a complex phenomena and problematic institution. Yes, state is a complex phenomena and problematic institution is here, because there is many and many institution is there. There is primitive society, there is social institutions, family is there, animal rearing society is there, agricultural practice is there, class formation is there, social inequalities is there, feudal society is there, capitalist society is there, and socialist society is there. Communism or stateless society is there. So there is a problematic such institution I have given reasons why this is problematic institution. No consists among the thinkers on evolution of state, its nature, definition, structure, and functions. There is no proper consciousness about the thinkers have that how the state has come into the evolution, its nature, definition, structure, and functions. Evolution of civilization. There is a thing to be covered here that when there is a state has come into the form, the thinkers and the philosophers has worked about the evolution of the state, that evolution of civilization. There is a thing that evolution of civilization is there, codified certain laws, rules, or shared norms, kinship, political system, sovereign authority, divine, ethical, and legal notions became reference point for defining state. There is evolution of civilization. What is the work here to be studied? That civilization has to be covered. Civilization has to be evaluated by the rules or shared norms, by the kinship, by the political system, by the sovereign authority, by the ethical and legal notions, and that became reference point for the defining state. This all things has given the reference point for the defining state, because this is the evolution of civilization here. In the simple terms, the state is defined as a system of relationship. This is here that state is especially has to be defined simply is there is a relationship of interdependence. We have to be understood here that any system of any type of state, any type of institution, any type of we can say management, that is based on the relationship between the interdependency. In terms of its basic features, the state is defined as a system of relationship in terms of its basic features. There is first is territory, population, membership of the community, government, institution, regulation of internal affairs, bureaucracy, judiciary, and military, and sovereignty of people and other states. There is simple terms we can define the state in a main state has a main feature, that is territory, population, membership of a community, government institutions, regulation of internal affairs, bureaucracy, judiciary, and military, and sovereignty of people and other states. There is simple terms we can say the state has a system of relationship in all of these institutions. It is also viewed as configuration of organization and actions that influence the policies for all groups and classes in society. What is to be done here? What is to be covered here? That it is also viewed as configuration of organization and actions that influence the policies for all groups and classes in the society. What we have to cover here, that the configuration of organization and the influence of the policies for all groups that and classes in the society. Monopoly of control over means of violence, territory, and sovereignty, constitutionally impersonal power, public bureaucracy, authority, legitimacy, and citizenship. There is on which of the bodies the monopoly has the state. This control over means of violence. First is their territory, they make the monopoly, and sovereignty, they make the monopoly. Constitutionally, they make the monopoly, and impersonal power, public bureaucracy, authority, and legitimacy, and citizenship. These all of the things that to be covered in the umbrella of the state, that is we can say that is monopoly. So there is philosopher view on the state. What they said about the state has come into the form. There is evolution of civilization. They have discussed the simple terms. They have discussed the what is state, and the configuration of organizations and actions that influence the policies for all group and classes in the society. So this is all about philosopher views on the state. Here is to be discussed that what is the characteristics of the state. What is the characteristics of the state? The state has a unique and separate association other than social institutions. Yes, the state has a unique and separate association. Because of that, state is before considering the all of the association, the state has the unique and separate association. Legitimate authority to govern the society. They have a proper legitimate authority to govern the society because of all of the Article 312 we have discussed here. That is, I think this is 312 is here. We have to be covered. That is, yes, no, there is Article 12 of Indian Constitution have given the state workings. Article 12. So legitimacy is there to be covered here. That the state has authorized to govern the society, control the resources and distribute among the social groups as per the norms. There is the state control the resources and distribution. Resources, they have the control upon the resources, and they have the control also the distribution. Any type of product, any type of things that in the social groups, and as per the norms, they have make the norms. They have make the constitutional norms for making the distribution and control over the resources. Perspective, omnipotent, all powerful and arbitrary. Maintain cohesion, solidarity of a class divided society. What the state do? There is the characteristics we are discussing here. That state maintain the solidarity of a class divided society. As we have seen, we have a class divided society, and the state have a very important and very strong role upon the maintaining the system and the institution and organization that has to be covered in the state. Institutionalized political power. There is to be clear that the political power has an institutionalized form, not in a very bad form. That is, institutions have the power, and the power has to be given by the state. So institutionalized political power is here to be covered, that maintain cohesion, solidarity of a class divided society, and all of the institution according to the constitution, according to the rules, regulation, according to the policies. All institutions have the political power. Serving the interest of influential disorientation for representing general interest. There is that the state serve the interest of influential disorientation for representing general interest. Here, that the general welfare, general interest, general purpose to be covered by the serving the interest of influential disorientation by the working of servingness. Supporting capital and sustaining its pattern of accumulation. Supporting capital. What the state do here? That the state support the capital and sustaining its pattern of accumulation. There is accumulations to be covered here. That which type of support? That the capital, they support the capital, the state support the capital and sustaining its pattern of accumulation. Minimal state. Here is that minimal. We also think that the state to be minimal. Corporate state. What we do here, that the state has a corporate state to be covered, that all type of corporation, all type of corporate, and we can say entrepreneurship and all type of this is to be discussed and to be covered by the state. This is corporate state. Here, Competitive state. Here there is a one characteristic of the state is that is state is also a competitive state can be counted. Capitalist state. Yes, simply is there that there is a many form of state that is to be that is or many countries has taken this type of the nature of the state, that is capitalist state. Soft state, there is that the workings and the nature of the state has depend on their workings, so they can be considerable the soft state. The hard state, feudal and absolute state, there is the modern state, welfare state, global state. The modern welfare and global. This is after getting the knowledge and all of the facts that modern state has come into the form, and what the modern state is not in a simply. The state has to be read and think about. They have seen everything. They have observed that what is the what should be remain the main functioning of the state, by getting the good answer, by getting the good research about all of theories and thought. The modern state has come into the form, and this is the thing that all things depend on the modern state is there, that the state has a sense of welfare of the citizen of the region. This is the main thing that modern state has come to the form. Simply is there, modern state has been our welfare state, and by the globalization, by getting the universalization in the form of welfare, in the form of modernity. This is global state has made a new evolution. Global state has come into the form, that is modern state, welfare state, and global state. So this is the characteristics of the state we have given. Literature state can be broadly classified. Yes, if we think that state has any literature, yes, state also has any literature that is to be classified here. That is, literature state can be broadly classified here, because without the literature, the state cannot be assumed. So, there is a past and history of the literature of the state. So, we are here with this the classification of the literature of the state. Prior to 1950s, there was a feudal state, absolute state, monarchical, and laissez-faire state. This is the state, we can say the hierarchy of the state literature. That is prior to 1950s. We have given the date here. That is prior to 1950s. That is feudal state, absolute state. After prior to 1950s, we have seen the first day of feudal state. Second, we have seen the absolute state, that is monarchy. And after that, laissez-faire state also we have seen. From 1960s to 1970s, here that modern development state we have seen, welfare state we have seen, and from 1980s, we have seen the peripheral state, dependency state, bureaucratic, and authoritarian state. This is that from 1960 to 70s, we have covered modern development state, welfare state, and after the 1980s, we have seen the peripheral state, dependency state, bureaucratic state, and there is also to be seen here the authoritarian state. Now, from the 1990s, because we have given here prior to the 1950s, and 1960s to 70s, 80s to 90s here. And now we are coming on the 90s. There is the literature of the from 90s to till now. There is predator. We have also seen the predator killer type of state. And next we have seen the vampire type, the parasite of the state, parasite type of the state. After that, we have taken the state is an receiver state, as like its receiver state. Next, after that, powerless state, prostrate. There is a word. There is powerless. After 1990s, powerless. This is untrue pretend state. There is a literature of that we have also seen that is untrue and pretend state. There is a state of nature. There is a literature of state is there. There's to be seen that show of the state. State State has no power. State has untrue and pretend, parasite, killer. This is show of the state. Collapse state here, tenant state here. That is rentier state is like tenant state, market state. As market state means that free trade. There was no any foundation, no any tax, no any rules regulations have the market. So there is a market state. We can say this is free trade state. End of nation state. Here is to be signed that the borderless state. End of nation state, that is borderless state. Means their nation state has no boundary here. There is, after the globalization, we have seen the borderless state. And of ideology, there is and of ideology, we can say democracy solve all problems. The problems are technical adjustment. Many ideologies, that is capitalist and socialist ideology, has been demolished, and the democracy has the main power, and democracy has solved all problems. The problems are technical adjustment here. So this is all about literature of the state. Can be broadly, we have been given the explain here, we have classified here. There are many type of literature of the state we have given, that is prior to 1950s, which type of state has to be covered at the time of 1950s, prior to 1950s, and after 1960 to 70s, between the timings of 1960s to 1970s, there is type of state of the literature we have seen. After 80s, we have seen this type of nature. From 90s, this type of all of the types of literature we have seen. Perspectives on the nature of the state. There is a perspective that how and why the nature of the state has been given a new perspective, different perspective. There is a perspective about, there is a liberal, Marxist, and neoliberal. There is three type of perspective we have to study here. The study analysis of state focus on individual and universalism, different perspective, that is liberal, Marxist, or neoliberal. We are going to discuss here, that is liberal perspective. Because of that nature of the state has the liberal perspective. So this is liberal perspective we have to be covered here. And if we say that liberal perspective has a very wide area, because all of the thinkers that has the ideology about the liberal ideology related to state, that should be counted, that their perspective, their views and their norms is according to liberal perspective. There is to be you have to be count, that is liberal perspective. There is one thinker we have seen, that is Thomas Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes is a very liberal perspective about the state. He is a very unique thought about the state, that is state has a very selfish aspect. Their person, the citizens are not good. They fight from each other. They are selfless. So these are the things that a liberal perspective. John Locke is also has a liberal perspective about the state. Next is Rousseau, and next is David Hume, Adam Smith, James Mill, Bentham. There is the person, there is the thinkers. Their view is individuals surrender all their powers through a contract to a third party, the state. They have think about that they have a commitment, they have a contract between the state and between the people of the state, and they surrender their powers through a contract to third party, that is state. State is rational and maintain universal standards of human nature and justice. Role of the state here, that according to all of these thinkers, that they think that state is rational and maintain universal standards of human nature and justice. That they want that if they make the contract according to the people of the state, that they have to be third party of they have to, the state, what the state has to do, that maintain universal standards according to human nature and justice. They want that support rule of law, equality, freedom, and democracy. In 19th century, liberals. If we see the liberals in 19th century, the Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, Hume, Adam Smith, Mill, Bentham. These are the thinkers that have the liberal view, and they support only for law, equality, freedom, and democracy. They have an equal thinking about the state. Protect the individual freedom to pursue their private life and accumulate wealth and prosperity. What they do, that they want to save and they want to protect the individual freedom for they for what for this basis they can survive their private life and they accumulate wealth and property. So wealth and property, if they are not free, they have no private life and they have no any protection, no security, then what will happen, that they will not accumulate wealth and property. So liberals also thinks about that, the individual freedom to pursue their private life and accumulate wealth and property. Participatory democracy and right to vote. What the liberals say, that Rousseau also say, the participatory democracy and right to vote. There is that the right to vote is important thing is here. So Rousseau says that the right to vote is an important thing for the making the state as according to the liberal perspective. So liberty and equality. There is also thing to be covered here, that they think that liberty and equality with concern of social justice. That is Max Weber in 20th century. Max Weber has come in 20th century, and they have also given the state that liberty and equality with concern for social justice. There is no plain liberty, no simple liberty and equality is to be concerned. They want that both things should be concerned with the social justice. So Max Weber has given this. He is also a liberal in 20th century. They have discussed about free market, lesser role to state. Pareto and Max Weber and Locke has given this. They want that there should be not too much role of the state. So they want the state has no any too much working. They want that the individuals do himself all of the working. So who has given the free market and lesser role of the state, that is Pareto and Max Weber and Locke. They have given this thing. Bantham, greatest happiness for greatest number of people. Bantham has also seen here that he wants that the greatest happiness for greatest number of the people. He has given the theory, greatest happiness for greatest number of the people. Happiness, he said that happiness of the people is the end of state. Bureaucratization of public services, legislation, accommodating change and diversity. Hegel, what the Hegel say? Extreme poverty is due to private property. Strong institutional structure are necessary to correct the state. Adam Smith here, laissez-faire in state minimalism. What the Adam Smith say, that he want that the laissez-faire and state has minimum role here. John Stuart Mill deviated from laissez-faire and advocated optional areas of state interference for promotion of citizens' virtues and qualities. Here, John Stuart Mill has also given the deviated from laissez-faire, and he advocated what he advocated, that optional areas of state interference for promotion of citizen virtues and qualities. That he advocated for the thing that state interference is necessity for the promotion, for the qualities, for the virtues, from the upliftment of the state of the citizen. So these are the things that liberals perspective, that is we have discussed about John Locke, Rousseau, Hume, David Hume, Adam Smith, James Mill, Bentham. They have given all of their thinking, all of their statement about the state, what they think, and their perspective. There is 19th century liberals has given the support rule of law, equality and freedom and democracy. Liberty and equality has to be concerned with the Max Weber. He wants that there should be social justice. Free market, a lesser role of state, discuss the Max Weber and Locke. Bentham discuss about the greatest happiness, greatest number of the people, and Hegel extreme poverty is due to private property. Hegel opposed the private property. So Adam Smith here, he discussed about the laissez-faire and state role should be minimum. John Stuart Mill also discuss here, also give the statement that there should be a laissez-faire of the state, but he says the right of the state should be more than because of for the upliftment of virtues, qualities, and promotion of the citizens. Marxist perspective on the nature of the state here. What the Marxists think about the nature of the state. The state government always serves the economic interest of the ruling class. Here we are going to discuss about Marx. What is the Marxist, and in Marxist which type of thinkers will be covered here? Marx, Lenin, Stalin, Hegel, Mao. After their also many of the new thinkers has come. The state reconcile the difference of interest within the ruling class and promote capitalist protection. There is Marxist perspective. State maintains social order for promoting the interest of capitalist society. The state and bureaucratic institutions constitute source of power and work under the control of the dominant class. What they think about that? State has a state is a bureaucratic institution, and he has all of the source of power and work under the control of dominant class. That all of the persons works under the dominant class. The state and bureaucracy are class instruments to coordinate the divided society to protect the interest of ruling. There is that state and bureaucracy are class instrument. There is this instrument that coordinate and they divide the society to protect the interests of the ruling. They think that the state doesn't want to work according to the interest of the society. The state prevent the development of revolutionary forces influences. But in an unequal social and economic system, the coordination are inevitable. The state, instead resolving the contradictions and work for the welfare of the poor, depressed class, it support the ruling class. Now we are here, the neoliberal perspective of the nature of the state. Neoliberal or new right is here that most prominent in contemporary globalized economy. Neoliberal has seen the new liberalization timings, scenarios, and they have the existing role of global universalization. So there is a new thing, a new phenomena has been coming to the form, that is neoliberal or new writings here. That state is most prominent in contemporary globalized economy. What they are thinking, the strong advocate of the retreat of the state, that is minimal state. According to neoliberal perspective, that based on a public choice theory, that is also the democratic society we have seen here. States can do no right. All distortions are due to state interventions. Pro-market, support competitive market and private property. Limits to the discretionary of politicians. curtailing powers and functions of government agencies and bureaucracy. What the neoliberal perspective think? That the state curtailing power and function of the government agencies and bureaucracy. They think that the closing the public organizations. What is one nation and boundaries of the state do not act as hurdles for free trade, goods and services. World is one nation and boundaries of a state do not act as hurdles for free trade, goods and services. State is a passive vehicle in globalized economy. Best states can do is get out of the way. There is all of the things has been read about, discussed about. That is neoliberal perspective on the nature of the state. The neoliberal perspective is here that most prominent in contemporary globalized economy. State can do more right, limits to the discretionary of the politicians. World is one nation and boundaries of state do not accept standards of free trade, goods and services. State is passive vehicle in globalized economy. The best states can do is get out of the way. So there is all things that neoliberal perspective is think about the nature of the state. Here, neoliberal perspective. Washington Consensus 1989, propagated by John William W.P. IMF, became guiding force for the state. What they have, neoliberal perspective, fiscal discipline is here, redirect spending priorities from things like indiscriminate subsidies to basic health and education. Neoliberal perspective, they have given the guiding force to the state. What is? They have discussed about the fiscal discipline. Statement. They have the statement that the redirect spending priorities from things like indiscriminate subsidies to basic health and education. Lower marginal tax rates and broaden the tax base. Interest rate liberalization because of there is after 90s. Here is we are discussing neoliberal perspective according to Washington's Consensus 1989. This is they have discussed about they have make the influence upon the fiscal discipline and they have given the redirections to spending priorities from things like indiscrimination subsidies to basic health and education. They want that lower marginal tax and broaden the tax base. A competitive exchange rate, trade liberalization. They want that trade should be liberal. Liberalization of FDI inflows, privatization, secure property rights. They want that the security of the property rights should be there. In nutshell, the neoliberal perspective view the state as state is the predator, killer, necessary evil, facilitator, catalyst, rollback of state. But in the country where poverty and inequalities exist, state is necessary for undertaking welfare functions. If we say that a neoliberal perspective, what they say, what is the views for the state and what they state. They state that state is a killer, necessary evil, facilitator, catalyst. But in other cases, if there is a country that where is a poverty and inequalities is there, state has a very important role. What we do that he works for the welfare functions. So there is state is necessary for undertaking welfare functions. Now here that what is the timings, the contemporary changing nature of the state is There is many of the debates has come out, so there is thing that there is a change in the nature of the state, and we have discussed about many type of issues and debates. These are the things that the contemporary debates has come out. So one thing is here, that is globalization. If we say that, that there is a much changes and very wide changes have been seen in the changing nature of the state, that is first is globalization. That is, first is free trade. This is investment, corporatization, further accentuated poverty and inequalities, especially in developing countries. There is a scene of developing countries. The globalization has given which type of effect or not give any good effect. That is free trade, is investment, corporatization. This is due to the globalization. Second is policies, capital, technologies, resources, services, institutions are globalized. Because of that, all of these institutions, services, resources, technology, capital, and policies, all of things has been become the globalized. So, in that cases, the all of the thing has a very new change. Due to all of things, there is a new change can be seen easily. Advantages: networking among the societies. जो states are used that the Washington consensus is not useful to the poor. Yes, this is a true line here that the pursuing economic growth objectives to include sustainable development, egalitarian development, and democratic development. This is the time that the economic growth is pursuing. The objective has main, that is sustainable development, egalitarian development, and democratic development. It is necessary to pursue sound financial regulations, competition policy, and policies to facilitate the transfer of technology and transparency in order to make markets work in a way that will support development. This is the thing that the contemporary debate has been come out, and it is necessary to pursue sound financial regulations, competition policy, and policies to facilitate the transfer of technology, transparency, in order to make markets work in a way that will support development. All of the things is based on the thing that there is a transparency, there is a transfer of technology, there should be a development. Changes in the nature of the state. Yes, all of the lectures that we have given here, we have all discussed the things that is state, about the qualities, about the thinkers, philosophers' views about the state, and all of the things that Marxist, liberal, neoliberal, and we have discussed about the debate on related about the changing of the state, changing nature of the state. So there is a changes in the nature of the state. Now the Western scholars also acknowledged the positive aspect of the state, that is 2008 economic crisis throughout the world. There is thing to be noticed that the Western scholars totally acknowledged about the positive aspect of the state. They know about that what will happen if all of these things can be covered. In corporate or competitive state, there is no place for citizen involvement. Yes, there is a true line. What is needed is combination of state, market, and civil society. There is that if there is a need of combination of state, we will finalize, we will do all of the final workings. That is combination of state, that is market and civil society. Anthony Ward, this is third way is renewal of society, social democracy, social equality and justice. State governance is necessary to regulate the markets. That is Anthony Ward. In a simple words, we are saying that third way is renewal of social democracy, social equality, and justice. Effective legal, judicial, and regulatory mechanism. World Bank propagated inclusive growth as a model of development. The rolling back of state is a global compulsion. Failure of policies to solve the problems. The state must give priority to territory, population, sovereignty of the country. At the same time, prepare to meet global challenges. This is the thing, changes in the nature of state. Western scholars has given a positive aspect of the state. There is a incorporate or competitive state. There is no place for citizen involvement. There is a effective legal, judicial and regulatory mechanism should be covered by this changing nature of state. World Bank propagate inclusive growth as a model of development. The rolling back of state is global compulsion, and state must give priority to the territory, that is population, sovereignty, and the of the country. And now this is main aspect to be read out, to be understood, to be careful, and to be in future to be we have to be aware about the all of the facts, that is globalization. Next is we have given all of the facts, that is changes in the nature of the state. After that, there is challenges. Studies on state are mostly pro-established or pro-authority. Studies on the state are Western based and historical, especially now liberal or new rights. How to ensure nation state? These are the challenges here. How to ensure autonomy, sovereignty of the state? How to ensure proper utilization of the resources? And how to ensure social economy justice of the people? Probably globalization. Application of both global and local resources, technology, knowledge to address the problem of the society. This is all of the challenges that we have to focus, that we have to face in the changing nature of the state. That is, the studies on the states are mostly pro-establishment or pro-authorized. Next is the studies on the state are Western based and historical, new liberal or new right school. And there is a thing that nation state has to ensure proper utilization of the resources is here to be a challenge, and there is to ensure socio-economic justice to the people. And last is there, we are going to finalize here probably globalization. There is an application to both global and local resources. We have to cover the technology, knowledge, and the problems of the society. So today for this is a new topic we have discussed. Thanking you and all of you. Please be careful, all of the things. Thank you.